characters for tonight. Silas McDaniel, Papa, played by John Todd Barlow.
Are you going to sit up and watch for Pig?
Sarah McDaniel, Mama, played by Ivy Barlow.
Never mind, girls. We must hurry or we'll never be ready.
And Blythe, the new baby, Marilyn Barlow. Luke Langston, Mama's brother, played by Nathan Barlow.
You know how I love apple dumplings.
Silas, played by Leroy Simpson.
When are you going to pick your apples, Sarah Samantha?
Mary Beth, played by Lisa Jessup.
Come and eat.
Josh, played by Reuben Darby.
About time.
Sarah Samantha, played by Jenny Jessup.
Someday I'll be bred too. Papa!
Kathleen Marie, Kitty, played by Lucille Steve.
Don't be so aggravating, Sir Samantha.
Cleve Barkley, played by Aaron Holmes.
Hey, we're going to have an auction.
Miss Clara Aldridge, played by Maylene Smith.
Yes, yes, yes.
Davy Hanks, played by Hiram Johnson.
Never could understand girls.
Miranda Jenkins, played by Allison Barlow.
We have so many lovely things to sell. You just wouldn't believe.
Luna Mae Perkins, played by Lucinda Barlow.
Miranda!
Beulah Horn, played by Olivia Darger.
You just would not believe what I have been through today. We're so terrible things to happen.
Julia Farr, played by Glenna Jessup.
I wanted to buy those.
Winifred Ellis, played by Margaret Barlow.
All that for cats?
Clem Stone, played by Dion Cook.
Come along, boy. We've got work to do.
Jasper Stone, played by Leonard Black.
Which way did you go, Pa? Which way did you go? Over here, son. Yes, Pa.
Agatha Winfield, played by Yvonne Barlow.
I do not approve of circus people. They are no manners.
Abner Henry, played by Robert Nixon.
The crops were flourishing and abundant, but then
Lucy Henry, played by Janet Fisher. Catherine Henry, played by Stephen Fisher.
I'm so glad we're neighbors.
Mr. Jonas Wallimer, played by Reuben Barlow.
Agnes!
Mrs. Agnes Wallimer, played by Sarah Allred.
We are just fine.
Bill Buffalo, played by Lauren Barlow Jr. Big Buffalo, played by Marshall Barlow. Indian Brave, Running Elk, played by Kelly Barlow. White Falcon, played by William Simpson. Indian. Black.
Him say, don't know, he stuttered too much. Him say, let's get on with show.
Uncle Luke likes fish. Come on, Josh, let's go down to the river and catch some fish. The poles are by the ice house.
I took some corn down the mill yesterday. I think I'll fetch it. Know how your brother loves fresh cornbread, Sarah. Last time he was here, he already left any for the rest of us.
I'll sleep in Dustin's spare room where Uncle Luke will sleep tonight. And I baked some cakes and pies. Let's see, we'll have boiled ham, fried chicken, and sausages. Oh yes, and the fish the boys are going to catch. Better not catch the fish before they're caught, Mama. There's Samantha! Go out and get some apples for the ducklings. But Mama, the duck by the apple hill. Don't tell me you're afraid of a duck, Sarah Samantha.
Never mind, Mary Beth. Sarah Samantha, go get the apples. A little duck isn't going to hurt you. Whatever shall we do with that child? Silas, I'm really worried about Sarah Samantha.
seems she's becoming more afraid all the time. I thought she would outgrow it, but it's just getting worse.
No, Sarah, don't worry. She'll be fine. Give her time. Don't fret about it.
Well, perhaps you're right, but I do wish she were more like Mary Beth.
She'll be all right. You'll see. Now I better go up to that corn mill. Luke should be here by supper time. And I have exciting news to tell the whole family after supper.
Now I wonder what that was all about. Mary Beth!
I put the new quilt we finished last week on Uncle Luke's bed, Mama. I knew you'd like that.
That's just what I wanted. The nights are still chilly for May.
Mary Beth, Paul's going to tell us something exciting after supper.
Pixie, hush.
Is it a secret, Mama?
I don't know that it's a secret, but he didn't say. Now, girls, to work. Pixie, set these cakes around. And be sure Uncle Luke doesn't get the cracked one. Mary Beth, the chicken, you know how I want it done.
Come on, you can help.
Where is that, Sir Samantha? I have this dumpling already and no apples.
Maybe a mouse looked at her. She's probably hiding under the porch. She's like the scaredy.
Hush, that's enough. Here you are at last. If we don't hurry, we won't have the dumplings ready for Uncle Luke's supper. Where are the apples?
The ducks quacked at me. A rat looked at me. The old pig stood at the apples and was rotten. The ram looked at me and put his head down, so I came back to the house.
And now Uncle Luke will not have his apple dumpling for supper. Because of some ducks and a rat and a pig and a ram, poor Uncle Luke must go without apple dumplings. Now go and wash your face and hands. He'll be here soon.
Scary cat, scary cat. If you run away now, you're not going to know Mama's going to tell us something puzzling after supper.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to wash my face and hands like Mom said.
Besides, you and Mary Beth just drink me.
What did I say?
Never mind, girls. We must hurry or we'll never be ready. Pixie, put these forks around.
There's the corn meal, Sarah. Is supper about ready?
I only have the cornbread to make and the fish to fry. Did you see the boys?
Yes. I met them coming up the river for the 4 nights big trout. I sent them to the ice house. Uncle Luke will go to fish for breakfast, I'm sure.
What are you going to tell us after supper, Papa?
Never mind that now, kitten. I just saw some dust down by the old horn place. Has to be Luke. Don't know anybody in these parts that drives like that. At that rate, he'll soon be here. I think I'll wait out by the gate with Sarah Samantha. She's already there.
You're not going to argue, Mary Beth. There's still much to do here.
No, Mama, I'm coming. Mama, what makes us all love Uncle Luke so much?
We are the only family Luke has, especially since Grandmama and Grandpapa died. Although he loves the circus and has become a famous lion tamer, this is still his home and we are his family.
I don't know anyone funner than Uncle Luke. It's so exciting to hear him tell about his experiences with the lions and circus and all.
Oh, gracious, we're wasting time talking. With that cornbread in the oven while I run change my apron and tidy up a bit. I wouldn't want Luke to see me looking like this.
I'm so excited. Uncle Luke is here and Papa has a secret on the same night.
Mary Beth,
The cornbread is in the table
he's
is
here
here.
coming up to walk with Papa.
Are you ready, Uncle Luke? Are you ready?
Mama, there now. Look who's here.
Oh, Luke! I knew Uncle Luke, you'd think the whole circus had come to town.
Sarah, I came home especially to eat one of your delicious apple dumplings.
Sarah Samantha didn't dare get the apples off the apple hill because there was a duck out there.
I'm afraid there isn't going to be any apple dumpling this time, Luke.
Oh, well, never mind. If I know Sarah, we'll have pie, cake, pickled peaches, crab apple preserves. Probably wouldn't have room for dumplings anyway.
A brave man like Uncle Luke deserves an apple dumpling.
Well, there's food aplenty, you may be sure, Luke. Is it about ready, Mama?
It won't be long, Silas.
There's fresh water on the porch if you want to wash up. Silas, help me take Luke's bags upstairs.
Sure too bad about the apple dumplings, Uncle Luke. You remember how timid Sarah Samantha was when you were here last? Well, she's worse.
Where is Sarah Samantha? She didn't come in with the rest of us. You better go find her, Josh.
She's all right, Mom. She's probably out mooning over that dumb little apple tree.
Josh, that tree was a gift to Sarah Samantha from Uncle Luke when she was only 3 years old. Why, Luke, she's loved and tended that little tree like it was a real live person. Josh, go find her.
Let me go find her, Sherry.
Very well.
So how's Miss Appleseed, Sarah Samantha?
Miss Appleseed doesn't grow very fast and never has any apples. But I love her just the same. You aren't afraid of anything, are you, Uncle Luke?
Well, a man who has a lion's tooth for a charm should be as brave as a lion, shouldn't he?
Uncle Luke, do you have a lion's tooth from a real lion?
Yes, I got it from a very brave lion. There once was a lion, a big old thing, and if you think he's not brave, you should see him in the ring. He's the biggest, the bravest, the leader of the pack, but give him a hug and he'll give it back. One day when I saw him, his mouth open wide, I sneaked up on him quickly to get a look inside. There was an extra tooth big as could be, and I figured this too was just the one for me. He's the biggest, the bravest, the leader of the pack, but give him a hug and he'll give it back. Now I have a lion's tooth and I'm glad, 'cause when things start to get scary, I think it's not that bad. He's the biggest, the bravest, the leader of the pack, but give him a hug and he'll give it back.
I have a favor to ask you, Uncle Luke. It's a very important favor.
Ask away.
I'd like a lion's tooth like yours. I'd wear it around my neck and it'd be very brave. Do you suppose the lion has another tooth he can spare?
No, I believe the lion needs the rest of his teeth. But I'll make a bargain with you. It'll be a secret bargain. You know how I love apple dumplings? If you'll make me an apple dumpling all by yourself with the apples from Miss Appleseed, I'll give you my lion's tooth.
For my very own?
I wouldn't sell my lion's tooth for money, but you know how I love apple dumplings. For years I have wished for an apple dumpling from the apples from Miss Appleseed.
Oh, I will. I'll have Mama teach me how to make the best apple dumplings. It'll be as big as a dishpan. And when I get my lion's tooth, I won't be afraid of anything.
So we have a little bargain. I think that is mighty fine. Soon you'll have this lion's tooth of mine.
It's a deal, I'm so excited. You will be delighted. Keep that lion's tooth sharp and bright for me.
If you have a prize, the job goes easy. If you have desire, a chore is breezy. If you haven't fun, the time flies faster than you think. If you have a prize, the job goes easy. If you have desire, a chore is breezy. If you haven't fun, the time flies faster than you think.
Supper's ready.
Now don't forget our bargains here, Samantha.
Papa, Silas, come and eat.
It's about time. hungry enough to eat shoe leather.
Oh, Silas, you couldn't tell awful.
Sarah's the best cook in Ohio.
I've looked forward to your good home cooking, Sari. Nobody can cook like my sister. I believe that's why Silas married you.
Of course it was.
Mary Beth prepared the chicken. She'll win somebody's heart someday. Oh, Mama.
Oh no, we're hanging on to her.
I know how to turn butter all by myself, Uncle Luke.
Why do you now? Why, you are growing up.
How cheerful you look, Sarah Samantha.
I have a secret. It's a cheerful secret.
I have a secret too. A fine surprise for all of you.
We are going to the circus. I know that's what the surprise is.
Tell us, Pa. I hope Aunt Agatha isn't coming again.
Why, I like Aunt Agatha.
She doesn't know how to ride a horse, she doesn't like animals, and she hates dirt.
Oh, Silas, you haven't decided to...
I have the best secret of all.
Silas, does this secret include me?
We are going to move away from here. I have traded this tiny little farm in Ohio for a fine, large homestead in
It's
Minnesota.
a homestead, Papa.
Where's Minnesota?
Minnesota is a fine, new, rich state, many hundred miles from here.
A homestead is a grand farm in a new state where you'll have many acres around your home instead of only a few.
Just think how exciting it will be to go way out to Minnesota. It will be wonderful to have a great, great big farm with many acres instead of this small farm.
When shall we move, Papa?
We shall move as soon as we have a sail and get packed. That is the nice part of the surprise. The homestead is waiting for us. We can move in 2 or 3 weeks.
A few weeks from now, you'll be miles and miles away from here on your own homestead in the vast new state of Minnesota.
I wish you'd come along too, Luke.
No, I can't leave the circus right now, but you know I'll be out to visit just as soon as I can.
You know you're always welcome.
It'll be a long journey. Shall we go by train?
Yes, we'll travel by rail as far as we can. Then we'll hire a wagon to take us the rest of the way.
There won't be room to take all of our furniture.
Will we have to sell some of the animals, Pa? One freight car won't be able to haul everything.
We'll have to leave Miss Appleseed. They'll never get to pick our apples and make them into an apple dumpling.
Next week shall be our sale, but we will not sell everything. I want each of you to choose one special treasure to take along.
I choose Grandma Lexington's little bedroom rocking chair.
I choose the black coat. I choose Grandpa McDaniel's saddle.
Silas, do you think I could take my keepsakes in Mama's old hair trunk, along with your father's family Bible?
Of course, Sarah, we wouldn't leave those behind.
I'm going to take Poochie's.
That's my dog, and its name's not Poochie, it's Dog.
I'm taking Little Mine. You chose the black coat.
What do you choose, Sarah Samantha?
I choose Miss Appleseed.
That's not a good treasure.
Isn't there something else you'd rather take, Sarah Samantha?
Appleseed's my greatest treasure.
Whoever heard of taking a little apple tree all the way to Minnesota?
The apple tree never has any apples on it. It would be better to take apples from the apple hill.
It's a long way for a little apple tree that isn't very strong anyway. I'm not sure it'd survive.
I still choose Miss Appleseed. You promised, Papa. You promised we could choose our own treasure.
And so I did. And a promise is a promise. We shall take your apple tree to Minnesota with us.
Don't blame anybody if your apple tree dies and you don't have any treasure.
Miss Appleseed won't die. Only way to see her dying on the homestead.
How silly to take along a good-for-nothing apple tree that never has any apples on it anyway.
Sarah Samantha has the right to her tree if she wants it.
I never knew Sarah Samantha was such a stubborn child.
What a fine day for a sale.
Josh, haven't you gone for Mr. Barkley yet? I declare, since you told him him he could take that black colt to Minnesota. He's done nothing but brush it.
That boy's all right. He's going to make a fine saddle horse out of that colt.
Clara Aldrich will be here first thing. She always is.
What a spinster like Miss Aldrich can do with all the stuff she collects, I'm sure I don't know. Have you seen her place?
Spinster? I bet she spins sweaters for all her hundreds of cats.
What is it, Mama? If you're worried about Mr. Barkley, Silas went for him a half an hour ago.
Thank goodness. Mary Beth, bring down those things for the auction. Did you bring in the clothes from the line that we're not selling?
Yes, Mama. Got everything except Sarah's net and his red quilted petticoat. Wasn't quite dry.
Josh, give me a hand with this furniture. Freight car has to be loaded tonight. Sarah, let me know when Silas returns with Mr. Barkley.
I'm surprised the ladies doing the bake sale aren't here yet. I thought they would be here by now.
There's Samantha's scaredy cat! Stop that, you bully! Leave Sarah Smith alone or I'm going to tell Papa!
I can't see how I'm going to hurt her. I'm just funny. This thing's my friend. This is what's next friends with her.
Can I take your frog?
Sure, you want me to show where I got it?
Let me!
Mrs. McDaniel.
Hello, ladies. I'm so glad you couldn't make it.
Hello. Where would you like to make something up? We have some lovely things to sell. You just wouldn't believe it. Why, Grandma will send over some of those delicious homemade donuts, and Bruno may send some of those large, lovely cookies. You know, the ones she gets for the kiddies. Oh, Mrs. McDaniel, you just can't know what this means today. It's exciting. Why, that's what I said to you. You know, I said, this is going to be such a fabulous turnout. Brother, if we don't get the bake sale set up, we'll never be ready.
I think down under the trees will be a good place. The boys have some tables set up for you. Do you need tablecloth?
Oh, no. We brought everything we needed, didn't we, Little May? Mrs. McDaniel, I have a monstrous favor to ask of you. I want a hand with the name of your hands and I can each lady. Could you just take this basket of eggs and sell them at your auction? Help! Keep the money separate. Or if I see something of yours I want, I'll just take it and break the eggs. Well, I don't know where Beulah is. She's always late. She was borrowing the tablecloths. Oh, no. I wouldn't trust Beulah to borrow the tablecloths. We needed them first. I have them. You know I go to Grandma Lawrence and we got some donuts. Whatever could be keeping her. Oh, yeah! Oh, hello, girls. Sorry I'm late. But you know, I have been for so many things. Oh, yeah! I've been through so many things. First, little Johnny fell into the pig trough when he was feeding that cow. You know the one with the new little piglets. Then, Jenny, well, Ruby just cut off her brain. And then, Jared brought home only one puppy for the twins. Which one is it? My children. And then, when I got to Grandma Horn's, I had to wait while she finished arguing about extra donuts. Why so many things? Everything has gone wrong. It's been wrong today, you know.
Help!
I've never seen anyone come like you, man. Of course, she does make good chocolate cake. When she gets talking, you might well forget about getting any work out of her. At least when I talk, I
I'll up while you're here, Mr. Barkley. Thank you.
like you have a large selection of things to sell.
Well, well, Mr. Barkley. Looks like we have a good-sized crowd here already.
Yep, even I told you not beat us here.
I'm putting the whole auction in your hands.
Thank you. Hey, we're gonna have an auction. We'll give you a good deal. We're selling everything that you can see. Oh, we're gonna have a party. The dang time is now. With tasty apple dumplings and assortment of good chow. We've got pillows, feathers, dusters, lanterns, tables, rocking chairs, furniture, dishes, and the shakers, who knows where. There's a floor mat, hat, jack, nightstand, and a real utility here. A pickle barrel, schoolsman, and a chestnut things out there. Hey, we're gonna have an auction, we'll give you a good deal. We're selling everything that you can see. We're gonna have an auction, we'll give you a good deal. We're selling everything that you can see. We're gonna have a party, the dang time is now. With tasty apple dumplings and assortment of good chow. We've got blankets, nights, dresses, gowns, and little babies' clothes. Really petticoats and rugs and rags, and even ladies' clothes. Now my life's a place of goodies, leather harnesses and gear. Flower pots and these whatnots, and there's a carriage in the rear. Now, Mrs. McJack, what do we have here? Delicious fruit cake. Starts at 50 cents. 50 cents. It's like 50 cents.
75 cents.
75 cents for $1. 75 cents. 75 cents. $1. $1. For $1.10. $1.10. Anybody. $1. Go on. Go by sold for $1. Thank you very much. What else do we have here? Beautiful pocket lady shawl. Really warm. All through it. We'll start this at $2. $2. $2. Anybody? $2. $2. $3. $3. $3. Gotta get on this guy having for $3 a lady shawl. $3. Going like sold for $3 for the fellow with the third one. Thank you very much. What else do we have here?
But I want to buy these ones.
These elegant potholes. We'll start these at 5 cents each.
15.
50.
25.
25. You're 50 cents.
50.
50 cents. You're 60 cents.
55.
55 cents. You're 60 cents. Anybody? 60 cents. 60 cents. 60 cents. You're 75 cents. 75 cents. 75. 75. 75. Go on. 80 cents. $1. Go on. Go by sold for $1. No problem. Lovely green top. I'll start these at 50 cents. 50 cents. 50 cents. You're 75 cents. 75. 75. For $1. Anybody? $1. 75 cents. 75 cents. $1. 80 cents. For $1. $1. Go on. Sold by sold for $1. What else? Lavender. $1. We'll start this at $1.
50
50
cents.
cents.
75.
75 cents. For $1. Anybody? 75 cents. Go on.
$1.
$1. Go on. Go by. Get the lady lady have it for $1.
Yeah.
Wonderful bottle. Why? You start this at what? 25 cents? 25 cents. 25 50 cents. You're 75. 51 cents.
52 cents.
52 cents. You're 60 cents. 60. 53. 55 cents. You're 60 cents. Anybody? 60 cents. 60 cents. You're 75 cents. 75 cents. 60 cents. $1. Go on. Go to my soul for $1. Back there. 2 rest of it. 25 cents.
50 cents.
You're $1. 50 cents. $75. $1. $10. $10. You're $1. $1.25. $1.26. $1.60. $1.60. Go on. Throw my soul for $1.60. beautiful lady shop. Very beautiful. People are all through it.
$1.
$1. Here's $1.10. Anybody, $1.10. $1. $5. $5.
I want that for my cat patches.
Don't let her get this for a cat.
But it's not holding it. It's not good for anyone else.
Tell them that.
I want it.
50 cents.
50 cents.
50 cents.
75
75 cents.
$1.
$1. Go on.
I need it. $1.50.
$1.75. Thank you.
$1.80.
$1.80. Go on. $2.
$2.20. I want it.
$2.20. Very nice. Beautiful, wonderful. Beautiful. 50 cents. Here's 75 cents. $1. $1.25. Here's $1.50. This is very beautiful. $1.50. $2. Go on. Sold for $2. I'm sorry. Another beautiful. Fruitcake. Very good. On the table. $1.50. You're $2. $2. $1.50. Go on. Sold for $1.50. No. Thank you very much.
Look, Sarah Smith, there's this Aldrich, this minister.
I wish I had my giant tooth. She looks scary.
She's just a little small lady with a house full of cats. She's looking at your petticoat, Samantha.
Why did you take off the line like Mama said?
Wasn't dry.
Oh dear, she can't buy my best petticoat. What when we're on the train?
Why, this is just what I need to make pillows for my rocking chair. I shall tell the auctioneer to sell it right away.
The petticoat's not for sale.
Yes. It's a nice thing for sale. But I am hurrying on the go as soon as I buy this
That's my
petticoat.
petticoat. I don't want to sell it.
Yes, it's a fine petticoat. It will make fine cushions for my rocking chair.
That's fine.
Sell this right away. Sell it.
What am I after this beautiful petticoat?
50 cents. I offer 25 cents. 50 cents.
60 cents. 60 cents.
Young man, are you listening? I said 25 cents. Yes, yes. I'll get you the money.
Why did you let him sell your best petticoat? Now when you get dressed in your best clothes for our trip to Minnesota, you won't have a quilted petticoat.
I didn't want to sell the petticoat. It's all that wanted to buy it. She's so big, and her voice is so loud. And she held on to my petticoat.
Oh, I would have taken it away from her. I would have taken it out of her hands. I'm not afraid of her big voice and her sharp black eyes and her deaf ears.
You're so brave, Mary Beth.
Thank you, Mr. Barkley. You're the best auctioneer in the county.
Thank you. Sure gonna miss you, folks.
Thank you. We couldn't survive it without you.
See ya. Got to have a fine time.
Goodbye, Mrs. McDonald. We're going to have a good trip. Goodbye, Mrs. McDaniel. You have a safe trip now.
Thank you.
Bye. Be sure you watch.
Bye. Bye. Someday I'll be brave too. Just wait till I get my giant's tooth. Then I won't be afraid of the soldiers no matter how much want to find my quilted petticoat.
There you are, Sarah Samantha. Look what Josh and I have here.
Oh, it's his apple seed.
Traveling's not easy for an apple tree this time of the year.
There's a special way to get trees ready for travel. First of all, Pa and I dug around the root. Then we dipped it in mud puddles over and over and over again.
See, the roots are a ball of mud.
Then we packed straw around the roots to keep them from drying out.
We didn't sell out old horse blanket, did we?
No, it's right here. I knew that would come in handy. I thought we'd use it to cover the furniture.
Josh, help me wrap this around the straw-covered ball. Mary Beth, get some string sewed on good and tight.
Then I'll wet the blanket down good, Pa.
That's fine. Now Miss Appleseed's all dressed up and ready to go.
Oh, look here. Kitsy's gone to sleep. We'd better all get to bed. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. Silas, carry Kitsy for me. Come along, Grandpa.
Do you think the black coat can be okay in that train car overnight, Pa?
Sure, he's as anxious to see Minnesota as we are.
There, Papa, I'm finished. I'm so excited about riding on the train. You're the best pop in the whole world.
Should we just leave the tree in the bucket overnight, Pa?
That's fine. Just think, by this time tomorrow, we'll be on our way to our own homestead. We have acres of field to farm, plenty of room spread out. Why, did you know the nearest neighbor is 3 miles away?
Are you afraid to go all the way to Minnesota, Miss Appleseed? You just have to make it and grow some apples, so I can make Uncle Luke an apple dumpling. The homestead will see what I'm home with you there, Miss Appleseed.
We didn't pass any other wagons on the way.
We are going to like it here. This is our homestead. Welcome to your new home, children. Silas, don't see if the wagons are coming yet. Brimstone and his boy Jasper are mighty fine traders. Why they'd make those wagons look they should be here any minute. Here they are now, Pa.
There's the black coat. I'll take care of the animals.
I'll have the table here, the chairs around. I can hardly wait to see how the first
I can hardly wait to see Miss Appleseed going outside my window. Look, Pixie, that cut stone behind the other house. There's the cabin. Oh, yeah.
This house, the better the building has 6 kids. That's why it's 3 bedrooms.
Thank goodness there are at least 3 bedrooms. This isn't nearly as big as the house we had in Ohio.
Now, Sarah, don't worry. It all takes time. But a fine, large homestead like ours needs a fine, large house. Well, Jen, the feather bed's found Agatha.
What? She doesn't like outside. She hates stuff.
When did the letter say she was coming tree? I hope she doesn't come before we're settled.
It'll be at least 3 weeks before she comes. She's offered to come teach the children this fall until we can make further arrangements. 3 weeks should give us time enough to be settled.
I sure am glad I finished school back in Ohio, so I wouldn't have Aunt Agatha glaring at me.
I can't find my apple tree.
Josh isn't going to be like being tied down to his lessons while Father and I work in the homestead.
This might be a hard time to have Van Dyke here. But what could I say? She's so determined. Besides, this is such a fine open country. It'll do her good to come out here.
Not going to do the rest of us any good. Actually, I'm looking forward to having your
I'm
aunt
gonna
here.
find my apple tree.
Having her will give us a touch of refinement. I'm afraid the girls are going to grow up wild.
You're as refined as any girl I'd want, Sarah.
I can't find my apple tree. South Sea's not here.
Don't worry about it, Sarah Samantha. I'm sure it'll come. Over the end. So much nicer than I thought.
I can't find my apple tree.
Don't worry, Sarah Samantha. It'll come. Maybe you could run out and look. Seems more like home every minute, doesn't it?
That's everything. Jasper.
Where's my apple tree? Have you forgotten it?
The apple tree was on when we started. I remember it.
Put the apple tree on the wagon last of all. I set the tree on top of a barrel of dishes.
But it's gone now. You've lost my apple tree.
The road was rough. Must have fallen off along the way.
Then go back and get it.
It's a long trip back to Dearborn. We thought we'd stay here all night and start back early in the morning. Our horses are tired.
We'll look for your tree on our way back. Not many people travel that road.
We have to find the tree tonight. Tomorrow will be too late.
Sorry, Gertie. I hope your tree survives, but we're not going back over that road tonight.
You can bed down in the barn, Clem. There's fresh hay. Mom and Mary Beth will bring out some blankets.
I'm going to find my tree tonight.
You can't go alone, Sarah Samantha. I'll go with you. We'll take the black coat.
Oh, would you, Josh?
Well, it's a lot of trouble. Dangerous, too. We might meet some wild animals or even Indians.
But we have to go back. Suppose some wagons come and run over Miss Appleseed.
We might ride all night and still not find the tree.
I do hope we find her before it gets dark. It'd be hard to see a little apple tree on a strange road.
Well, come on, I'll go saddle up.
I have to find her tonight. I'm going to need a lion suit out here. When I get my lion suit, I won't be afraid to go riding on the black horse. I won't be afraid of the night or the strange noises or the bigness of our homestead.
Diaphragm in, over. Chin high. There, that's better. Joshua Joseph McDaniel, stop dawdling. You must practice more. Practice, practice, practice. If you wish to have handsome handwriting like your Aunt Agatha, you must learn to work hard.
Practice, practice, practice. I never want to learn to ride, Aunt Agatha. I'd rather be out riding my black coat looking for wild Indians.
Don't talk nonsense, Joshua. There is nothing more important than learning your letters. Wild Indians should not be able to stop your daily practice.
Wild Indians. Say, Aunt Agatha, are you afraid of Indians? Pa said they sometimes stop at the homestead for food. Suppose some stopped here while Papa and Mama are gone to Deerhorn.
Don't talk nonsense, Joshua.
Don't you ever do anything fun, Aunt Agatha? Ride horses?
I'm sure I would have been a great proficient at riding horses, if ever I'd learned. But fortunately, I never desired to learn such an unladylike and indelicate occupation.
I'm tired. Can I start practicing my letters now? They are making me delicate.
Have now more, Kathleen Marie. A young lady of your years and sagacity should have more endurance than you are exhibiting. Sarah Samantha, what are you doing?
Just looking at Miss Appleseed, Aunt Agatha. I'm so glad we found her. She fell off the wagon on the way to Deerhorn when we first came, you know. And Josh helped me find her.
Miss Appleseed, and whom might she be?
Oh, she's my little apple tree Uncle Luke gave me. She's a special apple tree.
I don't see anything special about that tree. It looks just like any other apple tree, only it's drooping dreadfully.
Miss Appleseed needs water.
You can have the salt suds from the dishes to put on her, Sarah Samantha.
Oh, no. Appleseed would never like soap suds. I know I never would like it. I'm going to start carrying fresh water from the river to her.
This is most alarming, Sarah Samantha. Surely your mamma and papa would not allow you to go all the way to the river by yourself. I shall see to it that they do not. 'Tis far too dangerous. You never know when savage Indians will attack. A young girl should never wander around alone.
Mama doesn't let us wander around alone.
Sarah Samantha's going to make apple dumplings out of the millions and millions of tiny green apples on this apple tree. Miss Appleseed hatches her apples.
Miss Appleseed, Kathleen Marie, trees do not hatch. Birds' eggs hatch. Apple trees, they produce apples.
Whenever we go down by the river, we can still see Papa close by working the land.
Yes, just as he is today. He and Sarah gone off to the mercantile without a lot of their children. If I were not here, you'd all be running around like untamed savages.
What's a savage, Aunt Agatha? Do they have them in the circus? Uncle Luke never told me about them.
I am seriously displeased with Silas for allowing you children to be influenced by that no-account circus vagabond.
Uncle Luke's not a vagabond. He's not even wild. He loves Miss Appleseed as much as I do.
But I wouldn't doubt. Why, I'm sure he has distracted poor Sarah Samantha until she is quite taken with this nonsensical Miss Appleseed notion. Why, I'm sure he's even convinced her that that wretched little tree will actually produce apples.
But Aunt Agatha, Papa says Miss Appleseed will have
If you
apples.
could just be sensible like Mary Beth, sweet and believing like Kathleen Marie, but no, Lucas Langston has put fanciful ideas into your head. I do not approve of circus people. They have no manners.
Uncle Luke is the nicest, the kindest, and the bravest person in the whole world. He wouldn't even be afraid of Indians.
Uncle Luke is truly a gentleman, Aunt Agatha. He's Mama's brother, and I'm
Yes,
sure
I shall
Papa
speak to Silas. Lucas is not good for Sarah Samantha. Quite, she is downright befuddled by this Miss Appleseed, which is certainly not healthy for a little girl. I do not approve. Sarah Samantha shall come with me to Boston. Heaven knows I am homesick, and I shall love having a little girl to keep me company. My time here is almost over, and I shall be leaving for Boston in 2 weeks. That is what I shall do. Sarah Samantha shall come with me to Boston. There I can see that she does not grow up to be an uncultured heathen, and she'll forget all about this Miss Appleseed.
I'll never forget Miss Appleseed. She's my tree. She's the only thing I really own all by myself. I can't see why I don't like Miss Appleseed. She just will because she's homesick. I don't want to go to Boston.
Don't cry, Sarah Samantha. Papa will be home soon. He'll know what.
Indians! Indians! I saw them coming.
Where, Josh? Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. There must have been a whole tribe of just coming over the rise from Dearborn.
Don't talk nonsense, Joshua. What would Indians come here for? Let us maintain control of ourselves and not become imprudent.
Eat hungry! Hungry, hungry! Eat! Eat!
If you wish to eat in this house, you must be here at dinner time.
Eat now! Now!
Where are your manners? Dinner is served at 6 o'clock.
Eat!
Put that thing away before you cut yourself. I am not to be trifled with. I can plainly see I shall have to come back next fall and teach the Indians some manners. Leave. I resent this intrusion. I want you to leave now.
Not go on! Stay! Stay! Hungry!
I said, leave this instant.
Squaw say, leave! I'm hungry! We go now. Come on, come on!
Gosh, Aunt Agatha, you're not afraid of anything, are you?
I will not be passed over. On my word, I'm not accustomed to such praise. Kathleen, really, back to
I know what you want. Here's something from a grown-up girl. 9 peppermint sticks for the little girls. Guess what else I have here? A letter from Luke.
Oh, wonderful. We haven't had a letter from Luke in months.
Where's Sarah Smith and Kitsy?
Papa, this Appleseed flew in the bird's nest, and the birds in it are singing. How proud Miss Appleseed must feel. She's never had a bird's nest of her very own before.
That apple tree is doing well. I believe we're going to have an apple crop this year.
Sarah Samantha, Mama's reading a letter from Uncle Luke.
When I got to Dearhorn, I went to the mercantile. And there was a letter waiting there from Uncle Luke. Kitsy, Uncle Luke says the circus is coming to Dearhorn in November.
That means he'll be coming to the homestead in Nuggets. The circus can we, Papa, can we?
Of course we can, Kitten.
It says here, tell Sarah Samantha I haven't forgotten our bargain. I still love apple dumplings better than any food in the world, and my lion's tooth is as sharp and white as ever.
Mama, how many apples does it take to make an apple dumpling?
That depends on whether the dumpling is big or little, and whether the apples are large or small. 12 middle-sized apples would make a nice middle-sized pan of middle-sized dumplings.
Come on, Kitsy, let's go count the apples on this apple seed.
Uncle Luke says he has tickets for the whole family when the circus comes to Dearhorn in November.
November? When in November? I sure am glad it's not October. I hope it's after harvest or pond I can't go.
The circus, hooray! Now I can stay overnight at Dearhorn and I'll get to see Jasper Stone's new coat.
Jasper Stone? I'm not going to see Jasper Stone, and he's not going to see me.
Oh, Silas, what did you think of Jonas Waldemar's mercantile?
It looks like Mr. Waldman will be able to market our field crops and produce. And Mama, Mrs. Waldmer said she could sell all the eggs and butter that we could spare.
They'll even come out here and get what we want to sell. We can't make it to the mercantile in November. They usually come around to haul the homesteaders during the harvest.
We met another interesting person in Deerhorn,
Who was it, Papa?
a school teacher. His name's Abner Henry. He and his wife Lucy moved to the homestead 3 miles west of here a week or so ago.
That's the homestead Mr. Forbes left. You remember, Mama. His wife got sick and he took her back to Rochester.
Yes, I remember. It will be wonderful to have neighbors again.
I invited them to stop by this afternoon and get acquainted. Come along, Silas. Let's take care of the team.
Mary Beth, what's 17 times 11 and 3 left over?
I don't know 17 times 11, but I can count to 100. I can count the apples on your apple tree.
Let me work it out on the slate. That would be 190 apples.
How many apple dumplings could you make with 190 apples?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Silas. Silas is smart in numbers. Silas?
Yes?
If it takes 12 apples to make a dozen apple dumplings, how many apple dumplings can you make with 190 apples?
Let me see. This is a hard problem. The answer never comes out the same. I'm not sure whether it's 500 dumplings or 3.5.
I think the best way is just wait till the apples are ripe, make them into dumplings, and then count them.
That must be Mr. and Mrs. Henry.
Hello, I'm Abner Henry. You met me down in Deerhorn.
Oh, yes.
This is my wife, Lucy. This is Stephen.
Hello, Mrs. Henry. This is Mrs. McDaniel.
How do you do? Hello. Please, come right in.
And these are our children, Silas and Josh. And these, Mary Beth, Sarah Samantha, and Kitsy. And baby Blythe, named after Grandma Langston. Sit down.
Are you good at working hard problems and counting, Mr. Henry?
Working hard problems is my favorite fun.
Oh my, yes, Mr. Henry loves working with numbers, but numbers make my head ache.
Sarah Samantha's going to make apple dumplings out of millions and millions of tiny green apples on this apple tree. And we don't know how much it's going to make.
Whoa, just a minute, kitten.
Here's the problem. If it takes 12 apples to make a dozen apple dumplings, how many apple dumplings can you make with 190 apples?
Well, that's an easy problem. If it takes 12 apples to make a dozen dumplings, then 1 apple will make 1 dumpling, and 190 apples will make 190 dumplings.
That would take a big stone to make 190 apple dumplings.
Number problems won't be hard for you after you've been to my school for a year or two.
We plan to make our parlor into the nicest little schoolroom until a schoolhouse can be built. Since Abner's illness, he hasn't been able to work in the sun much. So we plan to have the homesteaders work our land in exchange for their children's schooling.
You know, I never thought I'd be able to have a homestead of my own, but Lucy wanted to move out here to be near her folks. They're over near Skunk Creek. And when this idea came up of having the homesteaders work our land in exchange for their children's schooling, well, it just seemed like a good opportunity to bring education out west.
How many of the children will be attending Abner's school?
Well, I can't spare Silas on the farm. Mary Beth better stay home to help Mama.
so we'll send Josh and the 2 younger girls.
But Papa, I was hoping that I could go too.
You can go in my place. I'd rather stay home and help Papa and Silas with the homestead.
I've read all the books that we have over and over, and I was hoping to get something new to read.
I'll loan you some books, Mary Beth, and you can come over whenever your mama can spare you.
I won't mind going to your school, because then I'll learn to count the apples on the apple seed. I'm glad I can go to your school, Mr. Henry, because then I won't have to have that Agatha to come back and make me into an imprudent heathen.
I don't know that it would be wise to send Kitsy every day. The days to a little girl are so long, and it's such a long walk.
Oh, we've thought of that, Mrs. McDaniel. In the afternoons, the younger children will come into the kitchen with me and rest and play until the older children are finished. By then, we'll have a new batch of puppies.
Puppies?
I'll be spending most of my time in the kitchen. Of course, I have a vegetable garden of my own, but it isn't doing nearly as well as yours, Mrs. McDaniel. But I do have a green thumb, and I'm sure it will be much better next year.
We certainly have fine crops this year.
We never had such crops in Ohio. This will be a good year for us. Mary Beth has a garden of her own in the big garden. Sarah Samantha has her little apple tree, and it has apples on it for the first time. And even Kitsy has a little garden in the front yard with 3 onions, 3 corn stalks, and a potato in it.
On a homestead, there's room for everybody to have something. We've certainly prospered this year.
Over near Plainview, the grasshoppers have cleaned out all of the crops. The farmers say the crops over there were more flourishing and abundant than they'd seen in many years. And then grasshoppers devastated the entire area.
Oh, awful.
How far away is Plainview?
I don't know, but the farmers in Deerhorn were worried about the grasshoppers coming this way. They said if they were coming this way, they'd be in Deerhorn today. So evidently they've taken a different route.
I sure hope so. I've heard there's nothing worse than grasshoppers. Once they get started, there's no stopping them.
Well, they've probably taken a different route this time.
Oh, Mrs. McDaniel, I'm so glad we're neighbors. You have a lovely family. I'm looking forward to many happy times together. Why, we're even close enough to borrow.
Good neighbors are a mighty wonderful thing to have, especially way out here in Minnesota.
Speaking of neighbors, we'd better get along and talk to the other homesteaders about their children's schooling. It's certainly nice to have met you folks. Your homestead has the finest crops we've seen so far.
With Silas helping on your place, it'll soon begin to thrive.
I'm looking forward to it, and to having your children in our school. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Henry. Goodbye, Mr. Henry.
Things are certainly looking up on the homestead. We have fine crops, and now we have a fine school teacher for our children. I knew we'd like it here in Minnesota.
Miss Appleseed likes it in Minnesota, too.
I like Quincy Henry, Mama. It'll be fun having a neighbor to visit.
Yes, I like her too. I was so worried about coming out here to Minnesota, but everything seems to be working out very well.
There's a strange-looking cloud in the east, Pa. Looks like a piece of black cloth covering the sky.
Maybe it's a storm coming in.
Doesn't look like a storm to me.
It's coming lower and lower.
What's that roaring noise? Maybe it's a cyclone.
Oh, dear, I'm afraid of cyclones. I don't want to blow away.
Something hit the window.
It's a big green grasshopper. We must try to keep them off the garden cornfields.
Here, put these things on. Cover your faces.
We'll have to work together.
What's happening? Why don't the grasshoppers go away? I'm scared of grasshoppers. They fight.
They bite hard.
They'll eat anything that gets in their way.
We'll have to
Even
fight
your
them away.
hair.
Boy, just cut some willows down by the river to beat them off with.
Oh, it's just what Mr. Henry said. Now watch the baby pony girl.
I'm going to shut and get in bed. Maybe when I wake up, the grasshoppers will be gone. There are grasshoppers all over everything. They're tooting and tooting and tooting. Listen to them, Sarah Samantha. They're singing how good, how good, how good. I'm scared, Kitsy. I'm afraid the grasshoppers will eat Mom and Papa. Oh, Sarah Samantha, don't be so pamphleted. Grasshoppers can't eat and swallow people. They don't have big enough necks.
just no use. No use. There are grasshoppers everywhere. They seem to be eating everything.
Poor Miss Appleseed. They're eating her right up. Dear. Where are you going, Sarah Samantha?
Guard my apple tree! No, Sarah Samantha, there are too many grasshoppers. They'll just bite off your hair.
You get out of here! You need to tell us it wrong! Too many! Sarah Samantha, don't fight back! I don't want Sarah Samantha to be false!
No use, Sarah Samantha, going out there now. There's probably not a whole apple left on the tree.
Sarah Samantha's so pig-headed, Mama. Why is she so obstinate?
Where that tree is concerned, Sarah Samantha is decidedly stubborn.
What, Mama? Sarah Samantha is afraid of the grasshopper. She's picking him off this apple seed and smashing him with a piece of kindling wood. There are grasshoppers all over her, but she isn't stopping. She sure loves Miss Appleseed, doesn't she, Mama?
Oh, that's hard work.
Don't cry, Mama. Surely they won't eat everything.
Sounds like they're going away. I don't see them anymore.
The grasshoppers are gone, Mama, but they sure made a good feast before they left.
The cornfields and gardens are a sad sight. Only dry, empty stalks are left. Grasshoppers have eaten all the tomatoes and bean vines in the garden.
Sarah Samantha saved Miss Appleseed. You should have seen her beating off those grasshoppers.
Miss Appleseed has a battered look. She looks as if she's been in a fight. Most of the leaves have bites taken out of them. They look like scraps of green leaves.
But the apple tree is still alive and growing. There's a few leaves left and a few green apples. Not many girls would have been willing to stay out so long fighting the grasshoppers.
Not many girls would work so hard to save a little apple tree.
But Miss Appleseed's a special apple tree. On a homestead like this, it's important to have an apple tree.
I think we are ready for market. Mr. and Mrs. Waldemar have been making their rounds, buying from the homesteaders all week.
I smell apple pie.
It's amazing the grasshoppers left us a few good whole apples on Miss Appleseed, as well as some hearts of apples.
It's not hard for me to count the apples on Miss Appleseed now. The grasshoppers left 13 whole apples and 14 parts of apples. Now that we've used the parts of apples to make an apple pie, I have 13 whole apples left on Miss Appleseed.
These are good cooking apples, too. They make delicious pie.
Pie's good, but apple dumplings sure would be better.
I believe these are Winesap apples. Winesap apples are the finest in the world.
Everyone who goes by the homestead notices Miss Appleseed and her 13 red apples. We could sell your apples, Sarah Samantha.
Yesterday a man wanted to buy Miss Appleseed.
She's not for sale, and neither are her apples. The Waldemars are here now, and they're going on the roundaboutation.
Mama, I wonder if Mrs. Waldemar would have done my set of pot pads and dish towels at the mercantile.
Right now, the Waldemars are here now, and guess who's driving their wagon? Jasper Stone.
Why tell me? I'm sure I don't care.
But he said you were someone so flummered over you.
Flumerated? You mean he's mesmerized?
Come along, kid. Let's invite the Waldemars in. Mr. Waldemar, Mrs. Waldemar. Come in, come in. How are you?
Fine, thank you. We are just fine. After that grasshopper seed, it's surprising how well the crop looked. I thought we wouldn't have anything in our store this fall. I was just thinking about...
Oh, yes. Our shelves are emptier than they've ever been. We're looking for just about anything you might want to sell or get rid of in here. Those grasshoppers didn't help our business any.
Lucy, Henry helped me make some sets of dish towels and hot pads. Would you care to look at them?
Yes, of course. I'll take them.
Mr. McDaniel, we have an opportunity
eggs to sell? We never have too many eggs. You think with the ladies raising their own chickens, we wouldn't have a market for eggs, but we do.
Yes, we have 5 dozen. Sarah Samantha, fetch the eggs for Mrs. Waldemer.
Silas, you tell yourself down for those wagon while we make arrangements with the Waldemers. You do want the hay, potatoes, and rutabagas.
Yes, and while I'm here, Mr. McDaniel.
Oh yes, we want all the hay, all the rutabagas, and all the potatoes you can spare. Don't we, Jonas?
We certainly do.
Do you have any butter? Or plum preserves? Or pickled rutabagas?
We have plenty of pickled rutabagas, but all our plums were destroyed by those grasshoppers.
It's amazing how much wild hay grew after the grasshoppers destroyed the first crop.
Yes. I've been thinking one way we could...
Do you want to sell this gorgeous Afghan? I really must have it. Do you have any dishes you want to get rid of?
Mr. McDaniel, I was wondering if you were...
This tablecloth is nice.
Agnes! I've been trying to explain something to Mr. McDaniel.
Well, of course. Why didn't you say so? I'm glad to have you speak with Mr. McDaniel.
I just wanted to discuss the co-op with him.
Oh, yes, by all means. A co-op is going to be our answer to helping each other with crop failure and grasshoppers.
A co-op. What a splendid idea. Come on, Jonas, let's go discuss this with Silas. I'm sure he'd be interested.
Well, as I see it, a co-op would help us
I'm
with
looking for just
grasshoppers.
about anything in here that you can sell or get rid of. Apples! Bright red apples!
That tree came all the way from Ohio.
The apples are wine sap apples. Papa says wine sap apples are the best.
I will take them all. Those are the finest apples I've seen growing in Minnesota.
Those apples are not for sale.
I must pick them at once. They will make a fine apple cake for Sunday supper.
They're not for sale.
But I will pay you well for the apples. I will leave your apple tree, of course. I will trade you a nice sack of candy for the apples. There will be peppermint sticks. There will be licorice. There will be sour drops. We have delectable candy at our store.
Candy! Can I have some of your candy? No!
I will trade you a nice calico dress for the apples. I have a pretty yellow calico with black roses on it. You need a new dress. The one you have on is too small. Certainly, Mrs. McDaniel, you can sell me the apples. I definitely don't need the consent of a
The
child.
tree belongs to Sarah Samantha, Mrs. Waldemer. It's her decision whether she sells the apples or not.
I will give you 25 cents for each of those silly little apples. You can help me pick them and then I must go. I am in a hurry.
Mrs. Waldemer, you can buy this fluffy good down pillow.
Would you like to sample my pickled beets? They won first place at the fair back in
I
Ohio.
have never seen such an insolent, headstrong girl.
I'm afraid you've made Mrs. Waldemer very cross, Sarah Samantha.
How could you, Sarah Smith? Mrs. Waldemer is so big and her voice is so loud. I would have been scared.
I was scared. I don't like to be scared. That's why I had to keep the apple.
So Sarah Samantha wouldn't sell Miss Waldemar apples.
No, Papa, Miss Waldemar was going to give us a big sack of candy for the apples.
When are you going to pick your apples, Sarah Samantha?
The nights are getting cold. You don't want them to freeze, do you?
Maybe I'll pick up tomorrow.
Tomorrow's another day. Morning comes early. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Pa.
Good night, Pa.
We're going to have a frost before long. I believe the apples are ready to pick.
Now I will pick the apples and put them in a safe place. Uncle Luke told me, and I want to make him an apple dumpling.
Well, good night, my determined little girl.
Good night, Papa. You're beautiful standing there in the moonlight holding your 13 red apples, Miss Appleseed. Keep them safe just one more night. Tomorrow I'll pick them and put them in a safe place.
motion. What are you supposed to get any stick around here? Oh, baby, never thought Nurse meant to do a thing like that.
There's Samantha, somewhere on the side. Silas, you better slip on some clothes and go find your sister.
Gosh, Sir Samantha's getting me scared out there alone. Middle of the night's no time to run races and play games with pigs.
Where on earth could she have gone?
Who knows? First we'd have to know where the pig was going.
There's a pig, but I can't see Sarah Samantha.
Gone out at night and captured an Indian.
He's only a baby, a little lost baby, and he's tired and dirty and hungry.
I'll get him some bread and milk.
It's probably cold. I'll stir the fire.
You're a very brave girl, Sarah Samantha. Indians for miles around tread deer horn. We must get word to his people. They will be worried about him. Tomorrow I will go to Deerhorn and let everyone know we have a little lost Indian boy at our homestead.
What's your name, little fellow? You have a name?
Mine's Little Buffalo.
What do you know? He can talk.
He said his name was Little Buffalo. Can you smile, Little Buffalo?
Oh, the poor little thing, he's just scared to death.
Good. Apple.
This has been an exciting night, and I'm tired. Not every night Sarah Samantha runs after a pig and catches an Indian.
Mooney is getting pale now. Most of the night is gone.
We should all be getting back to bed.
Silas, carry Little Buffalo. I will make a nice bed of blankets for this little Indian.
He will be my little brother. I've always wished for a little tiny brother.
Are you going to bed, Sarah Samantha, or are you going to stay up and watch for pigs?
I'm going to bed, Papa, but first I have some work to do. The old pig only left steak, apples on his apple. I must pick them tonight and put them in a safe place. Then I can sleep, and I won't have to worry about frost or wild pigs. And I can write to Uncle Luke and let him know the apples are ready. Mama, it's been a whole month, and nobody's come to get him yet. He's getting so smart, he's just full of gabulations. Apple, me hungry.
You're always hungry, Little Buffalo.
Give him a piece of bread.
No, not bread, apple.
Remember your manners, Little Buffalo.
Apple, please. Please, apple, please. Still remembers the night I found him and gave him that apple the old pig chewed on.
They say Indians never forget anything.
That's why he was always wanting to be their friend. Apple, please. No apple. I'm saving the rest for Uncle Luke.
Are you sure they haven't spoiled Sarah Samantha? Too bad to waste those good red apples.
We
We might as well get an apple pie out of them.
Well, Uncle Luke's coming, and I want to make him an apple dumpling. I'll go get them and show you they aren't spoiled.
Uncle Luke will be here for Thanksgiving. Isn't that wonderful, Mama?
I hope he can stay till Christmas. I want to see the circus 3 times.
Uncle Luke will be in Dearborn this afternoon. If we hurry, girls, we can all go down to meet him. I wonder where Josh went with that wood.
Uncle Luke will be surprised I can cook so well. See, the apples are still good.
Do not be frightened, children. There are a great many Indians coming to try to act brave. I'm sure these are friendly Indians. We will be friendly to them and give them food.
How?
How, Grandpa?
How, little buffalo?
How, little buffalo?
How, little buffalo?
He's hungry. Hungry.
Very good. There's time to get these men something to eat.
Nice and there.
We're fine, little buffalo.
Sarah Samantha ran out in the middle of the night to chase a big wild pig away from her apple tree. Then she found little buffalo crying under a bush.
Little buffalo. Girl, keep brave. Keep brave. Buffalo. Keep brave. Tell more.
That's all there is to it. Sarah Samantha ran out in the middle of the night and chased a big wild pig away from her apple tree.
Big run. Brave buffalo.
Tell. Fly, little buffalo.
Well, she was out in the dark, and she heard someone crying. She looked, and there was a little buffalo. She picked him up and brought him into the house.
Little buffalo. Brave buffalo.
Tell more.
You tell them, Sarah Samantha. I'm tired.
There, that's what little buffalo has said, please. Where's Apple, please? Where's Apple, please? Where's Apple, please?
You are brave. I call you Buffalo Woman. Where you go now?
Goodbye, little buffalo.
Say, little buffalo. Eat brave buffalo. You mean Sarah Samantha? Indian. White man's friend.
Never the bush. Get it. No, what him said?
Timo, stop it.
Some Indians came and took little buffalo.
It was little buffalo's grandpa.
Yes, I met them as they was leaving. The wagon is waiting at the front gate. Who wants to go with me to get up a look at Dearhorn?
I do.
Me.
I would like to go.
I'll stay here and make apple dumplings.
You will stay here alone, all by yourself.
I'll be busy because I must be very careful to make a good enough apple dumpling for Uncle Luke.
Very well. Hurry up, girls. Josh and Silas are waiting in the wagon at the front gate.
We haven't any sugar, Sarah Samantha, but molasses will make a fine apple dumpling. Now do be careful.
Goodbye, Sarah Samantha.
Bye. At last they can make my apple dumpling. Better get my dough ready. Better be early. It's too late. I like sugar and spice. I like sugar. I like spice. I juicy smell. What a delicious apple dumpling you will make from Luke. Oh no, Mama says we didn't have any sugar. She says molasses makes a good apple dumpling. But my apple dumpling needs sugar. Mrs. Henriette has sugar. She'd let me borrow sugar for my dumpling. Oh, but it's such a long way to the Henry homestead. And it's a lot longer when you're alone. 3 miles is too far to walk. I'll just have to ride the black horse. I wish I had my lions too. helping me with my dumpling.
Isn't it? What?
Come on, go.
What? That's a man.
Smell, eating good.
Well, hey, Brian.
The apple dumplings, not you. For Uncle Luke. All see if they're here. Uncle Luke, you'll never believe how big this apple was. He had the first time the
This is not your birthday, anything.
Buffalo woman, feed Indian.
Buffalo woman.
I have a surprise for you, Uncle Luke. Come sit down. Here's an apple dumpling I made all by myself from apples that grew on this apple seed. I have kept our bargain.
The lion's tooth is yours now. You have earned it.
Eat bread, Buffalo woman. Say, little Buffalo. Indian have present for Buffalo woman, too. Wild Indian pony, for you. Ride fast everywhere. Name, Lightning. We go now. Come back. See you ride Lightning. Yeah, sorry, Lightning.
I'm so glad I have my lion's tooth.
Olivia says that we need Colleen to be up here. There's space right up here in front.
Come on.
I knew it was hot out here.
tomatoes.